very good evening, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH 286, Patricia and David. Not too much to cover tonight, except that it would be good to talk to Kalia out there. I've just been looking at their AIS and they're doing 12.3 knots. Boy, we're starting to get catamaran envy here. Zinger are going pretty well too, down a little bit further. But let's talk about today. I'm looking out at a pretty blue sky, but we've had a southwest wind all day. We decided to go down and I wanted to do the old wet and forget on the boat with the lines and things, but boy, it was windy down there at the Gulf Harbour Marina, so we gave up on that idea and we'll come back tomorrow. At the moment, it's about 18 degrees outside. It just feels cooler with the southwest wind. It's anything from about 7 to 15. It'll be more outside, but 7 to 15 knots. The bar is still rising, 1017, and it's about 10% cloud cover, just a little bit on the horizons. So, yeah, pretty chilly, particularly for those boats that don't have any heating sitting around the marina and out at anchor, waiting to look at weather, which David will talk about shortly. I'll just see if there is Kalia on frequency. Kalia, Gulf Harbour.
Gulf Harbour Radio, this is Kalia. How are you doing this evening?
Oh, we're very well, thank you. Kalia. I'll get the emphasis on the second syllable. Yeah, and we hope you've gone through the squally conditions that you had yesterday, but boy, you're doing some good speeds. Over.
Yeah, we made our second 220-mile day. We're about 92 miles now west of the Chromatic Island. You want to position report? I was ready anytime.
Yeah, go ahead. Over.
All right, we're 29 degrees 35 south, 29 east. Our heading currently is about 15 degrees with an average speed of about 9 to 10 knots. The wind has been averaging somewhere between 23 and 25 knots, currently coming from 227. The swell is about 2.5 meters, and it's coming from about 250, and it's partly cloudy. All on board here, we're pretty happy sailing almost north now. The wind seems to be in a state of change. We're going to be blowing to the north, and we're probably expecting to do a dive later on tonight and keep on trucking.
Yeah, David has a comment here. I was just looking at your position on the AIS to look at because a static crash came and you're pretty much on the dateline, aren't you? I've got here I think you said I'm just trying to read my own writing now. I've got you at 17938 still east, 17938 east, 2935 south, that's the important bit, and on a course of 015, and I'm presuming true course, 9 to 10 knots. The wind actually higher than what the GFS have got. They've just had steady all around you, 20 knots, but you're reporting 23 to 25 and from 227 and the 2.5 metre swell from a bit further 250 true. Just stand by. I think David has a comment.
I was just curious about the trough that must have gone past you last night or maybe even earlier. Right now it's located at about 26, maybe 27 south. So I'm not sure. I'd be curious to know what your actual conditions were, say, last night. Over.
Last night there was a little bit of winter and some swells, but it wasn't really a dramatic incident. We would see the swells coming in on radar, and it would get pretty wet. We've seen an increase of about 10 knots to about a 40-degree shift in the wind. But this is really low. We're not seeing any electrical and no lightning. Yeah, it's wet.
Okay. He's finished.
Okay, well, thank you for that. And I'm looking, I've got satellite imagery at the moment. And in fact, most everything I do is satellite imagery, it seems. But I'm looking at the trough. It's a broken trough, and it would have gone past you on its way north. And anyway, that satisfies my curiosity. Thank you for that. And you are definitely moving fast. Over.
Yeah, no, we're planning to keep it that way. We're going to obviously maybe try and get a little further east if we make a dive and try not to start heading into Fiji directly at this time. We'll do something. We know that we've got money coming from the south. And we're trying to get up there and get the those help and we want to flow behind this.
Yeah, you're fading away a little bit on us here, and good to know you're not stopping at Minerva, of course, going straight into Fiji. Any more comments from you, David? Nothing? No? Yep, he's studying the satellite picture at the moment. So, and you've got quite a few boats around you, mostly behind you now. Shine of Exeter and Havoc and Island Time and so on. They're all spread out reasonably well. Nothing too close to worry people at night time.
What's the ETA?
Yeah, David is interested in your ETA at, I presume, dinner hour. Over.
We're going to be checking the Sabu, and I think it's going to be late on the 7th, I believe, is when we're going to get in. We have 3 boats around us, a little far ahead of us is Ananda. 3 miles from port side is Yamagoon. Trying to do
Okay, so sorry about that. You're going to Savu, and about the 7th. Yeah, well, you're certainly moving fairly fast, aren't you? All right, well, we'll keep track of you tomorrow. Interesting to see what the conditions are going to be like, but with that big anticyclone, we all know what's going to be on the outskirts of a big anticyclone. So the wind is certainly going to be up there. But your Kalea seems to be handling it really well. Okay, well, hello to all on board, Kathy and the rest. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Is there anybody else out there wanting to call in? Please call now. No, they're all patiently waiting, but there are quite a few behind Kalea, and we're keeping our eye on our dock neighbours, Fusio. Mind you, their AIS is fairly slow to respond, but still quite a few people a few more have left today. Tigrano, Belgium, and Sima, and Tikai Hupara, and the like. That I'm going to pass the microphone to David to talk about weather.
All right, good evening to our listeners on this. Wow, it's a beautiful day here at Gulf Harbour. Pretty windy,
wind.
but apart from that, sunshine. So I'll start with the current Brett forecast from New Zealand Met. And Sunday, expect southerlies 20 knots, which I would agree with for sure. Based on what's happening today and looking like tonight as well. Anyway, moderate seas. Looking at Monday, which is the 5th, which again I believe is a day we are going to see a fairly large migration. Anyway, they've got easterlies 15 knots on the 6th, Tuesday, east 15, and Wednesday, northeast 20. Quite a bit of a shift. So the synoptic picture for today shows New Zealand's low has moved east. It's well past the Chatham Islands, while the next high is just entering the Tasman, and it is very strong at 1037 millibar. By Sunday, tomorrow, which is the 4th, the high will move into the central Tasman, and it's ridging northeast with the axis more or less toward Tonga. And by Monday, the 5th, the big day, it encircles New Zealand at about 1036 millibar, 1036. Its isobars reach to the north of Fiji and west to 170 west, where they push into the low that I just described. So we've got quite a squash zone at 170 west, but no worries really for yachts that are on run line basically to Tonga or Fiji on the 5th. So keep in mind the highest central pressure again, which will supply and is supplying fresh winds, well, from basically 30 south northward. By the 8th, and that's an important date, near Norfolk Island, a small depression looks to form. It will change the shape of the highest isobars, so the winds will become northeast from New Zealand up to about 25 south. By the 11th, many yachts should have reached Minerva, where the wind at that point shifts to easterlies at about 20 knots. So, as the models have been changing nearly daily, trouble may brew over Tonga as a tropical depression wraps itself up. So says GFS. Now, EC picks up cyclonic flow just to the south of Kendabu on that date, with a series of small depressions. The second one over Tonga, the third one over Niue. It's amazing to look at it. So all of this is too far out so far as I'm concerned, but it's a warning to keep monitoring the situation. And as we've always said, when people are planning a passage, always try to look at the weather on your arrival date. That's why we keep asking ETAs. So it's not only important when you're coming to New Zealand, but it's also important when you're heading up to Fiji. And in this case, there could be some interesting developments. So it's very important to look carefully. And we will as well, and we'll keep you informed as we usually do. So with that, I'll pass it back to the Chief.
Thank you for that. Well, it is going to form. It's just what sort of how wrapped up it's going to be and will it affect people on passage. That's the interesting thing. And of course, we've got King's birthday weekend coming up, so that will be of interest. Right. Hello to Max and Ali up here in Savu, or nearby, and also hello to Andrew and Claire. Well, I think it's just Andrew in Sydney. Good to know, and I'm not sure why, Andrew, your message came through on an email from YouTube, not on the chat box. So that's a bit of a puzzle, but not one that I am going to probably understand. So is there anybody wanting any radio check or comment or whatever? Now's your opportunity. Please call. No, all those front runners are busy out there dealing with the 20 plus knots, and those of you at home are patiently waiting to see what happens tomorrow and the next day. Okay, there's nothing much more, nothing else has come up on the emails, so we'll leave you all in peace. We'll go and see what's going on the television news, and we'll be back again tomorrow, Sunday. Cheers, everybody. Have a good night. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, and we are clear.
Here is LMH 286.